This is the date difference bar column formatting template at SharePoint-dashboards.com. This template allows you to visualize the difference between two date time columns. So, as an example, on my list, I have a couple of dates, and I'm just checking the difference between these two columns. Your other option is to check the difference between the time when you are viewing the list and a date. So you can just reference a at now variable if you want as an alternative. So in this preview, it gives you an idea. You also have the option to have a different color bar depending on whether it's a positive or a negative value. You do need to supply two date references down at the bottom where it says SharePoint field names. So I'm going to just start out with the default template as an example. So I need to enter the names of my two SharePoint fields. My fields are called check date and check date 2. So I need to replace this text and enter check date and check date 2. And then I can copy this template and then just follow the instructions in the box, click OK, go back to SharePoint, and then you can put this in a empty text field. This is what I call a placeholder field. So I'm doing format this column, advanced mode, and just paste in the template, and there you go. So what we can see here is that there's one day that's elapsed between the value in check date and check date 2. That's a green bar because it's a positive value when comparing between those two. And then you can see September 23rd to December 11. It does the math and that totaled to 78 days. If, on the other hand, the comparison gives you a negative value, this might be the concept of something being overdue, for example, you will have different colored text with the negative value in a different colored bar. Notice also that if there is a null value in either one of the two dates, it's simply not going to display anything because, of course, there's nothing to compare. Over in the configuration settings, you do have an option to select the time unit. In most cases, it would be common to select days, but you can do it at a more granular level. You could, for example, select hours or even minutes if you're trying to track something and looking at it at a more detailed level. The calculation for the bar width uses a couple of different things. The max bar width is the absolute maximum size in pixels that the bar can get to, and that's assuming that the maximum possible value is what is calculated. The max total time is letting you set a limit for the upper end of that. So what you should do is think about your situation and consider what's the upper limit in terms of how many days. Now, it will do the calculation if there are more days than that, but this is useful for the bar reference because basically you're indicating how wide that bar should get, because of course you can't have a bar that just gets wider forever. You run out of space in the SharePoint list. And then you have just the regular easy to understand settings in regard to the font face, colors. You can turn the shadow behind the bar on and off, as well as adjust and optionally decide whether you want to use the curved end on the bars as well. So lots of different configuration options. You can do different look and feel on this to configure it however you want. And this would be a great way to help you visualize, especially in a situation where you have something that has a due date. So if you have projects or tasks that are due by a particular time, if you want to be able to see when things are running past due, and in particular if you want to know exactly how long past due, how many days do you have until the deadline, how many days have passed, have you gone past the deadline. So these situations where you're thinking about things being on time, these bars are going to be handy. I should note there's another template which shows just the numeric calculation called the date difference template, so that's another one that you can take a look at. This template is available at SharePoint-dashboards.com. You can sign up if you have not already for a free account to access 20 free templates. And then if you go on to subscribe, that will give you full access to all of the templates, of which there are more than 120. I hope you like that, and I hope you're able to use this date difference bar in your SharePoint sites. Good luck!